want to give our praises and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, double honors to the apostles, the elders who rule at great millstone, and a blessed sanitation to Yakiams in the four corners of the earth to push in the gospel and sincerity in truth. Shalom. This evening, we're on the next lesson to feed the elect. You know, mass killing in Syria right now. You know, with this chemical attack. You know, and the devils, so like these devils blame it on Assad. You know, that's like a couple months back. I think it's like a year. It could be over a year, going into 2 years back. I think when they say he bomb his own people. You know, he let loose a bomb on his own people and kill his own people. So they're saying now this chemical attack here now is that they're saying that he do it. Just like I think it's about a year and a half, 2 years back. They were saying that Assad bombed his own people, you know what I mean? And was trying to get him out when they had the war in Syria, you know, and Russia come in and back him up, you know. So these devils coming again with the same thing, but all this is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, because Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, he's the host, he's the Lord of hosts. You mean he's who muster the battle. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai doing all this, you know, and also, you know, on a spiritual level, you know, these babies could be Israelites, because the scripture says so judgment begin at the house of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and also the scripture say the children of Israel scatter in our four corners of the earth. You know what I mean? We scatter abroad. You know, so this is judgment. You know, I'm gonna run this video. You know, this for the edify the elect. You know, and
chemical attacks launched on innocent civilians, many being young children, in a northern Syrian town. Families are left picking up the pieces of their former lives. Those hit hardest in Idlib are feeling the effects of the deadly attack on a personal level. This father seen here cradling his 9-month-old twins, killed in the attack, as he says a tearful goodbye. This man in Turkey recalling the early morning hit where he lost 22 members of his own family in the assault. Now the global community is speaking out and calling for an investigation into just who initiated the attacks. Speaking in Beirut, the deputy director of Human Rights Watch Middle East said that the evidence her organization has gathered so far shows a nerve agent was used in the attacks based on the symptoms victims had suffered.
We've continued to speak with first responders, with medical professionals, and with some of the victims, who have indicated that this attack is unlike the chlorine attacks we have been documenting for the past several months. The types of symptoms that they are describing are more consistent with a nerve agent type of attack.
While Russian and Syrian governments deny they were responsible for the attacks,
they indicate that there was some kind of chemical warehouse in the area that was struck and subsequently released these chemical agents. Contacts that we've spoken with on the ground refute that story. And that's what we are trying now to assess.
And at a Brussels summit on the future of Syria, the EU's foreign policy chief said the conflict had brought destruction and human suffering on an enormous scale. The use of
and EU is part of the beast. You know what I mean? EU and NATO, you know, is part of the beast. You know, so this is war. You know, this is all this. The Most High is mustard in the battle. You know what I mean? The Most High is the Lord of the hosts. You know what I mean? So the Most High mustered in this battle, all this gonna lead up to World War III. You know what I mean? Yeah, this is gonna lead up to World War III, and EU is the beast. It means the European Union. You know what I mean?
Chemical weapons by anyone, anywhere, must stop immediately. Meanwhile, British Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson reaffirmed his position on the possibility of the Syrian government being responsible for the assault.
We cannot be certain about what has taken place, but all the evidence that I have seen points to the responsibility of the Assad regime for that horrific attack in which children were killed. And so, in my view, by the way, that shows the impossibility of that regime continuing.
The debate over responsibility.
Yeah, and how much these devils, how much people they ain't kill? Yeah? Negroes, Latinos, or Native American Indians. How much these devil ain't kill? You know what I mean? These devil wanna pass judgment on everybody. You know? How much people they ain't kill? You know what I mean?
He continued at an emergency UN Security Council meeting Wednesday morning.
We know that if nothing is done, these attacks will continue. Assad has no incentive to stop using chemical weapons as long as Russia continues to protect his regime from consequences. I implore my colleagues to take a hard look at their words in this council. When the United Nations consistently fails in its duty to act collectively, there are times in the life of states that we are compelled to take our own action.
As UN Security Council members call for immediate access for investigators to air bases where attacks involving chemical weapons may have been launched, the cries of children in packed hospital beds back in Syria are what remains from the deadly barrage. Roy Roseman,
Yeah, so like I say, you know, see it's on a spiritual level, you know. These people, these babies who being put to death, and you know these men and women in Syria, they could be Israelites, because all this part of our land too. You know what I mean? Them land is all this part of our land too. You know, so you know Jake's dwelling in all nations. So Jake's gonna be looking like everybody. You know, Jake's gonna look like a Japanese, a Chinese, you know, a Syrian, a so-called white man. You know, Jake's gonna look like everybody because confusion of face. So on a spiritual level, we know that. You know, these children could be Jakes. You know what I mean? They could be Jakes, and you know, Israel scattered in all nation. You know, and we need time of judgment. You know what I mean? We need time of judgment. You know what I mean? I got this one here. That's James. This is James chapter 1 verse 1. It said, James, a servant of the power Yahweh and of the Lord Yahushai, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting. So the children of Israel scattered in all four corners of the earth. You know, and the scripture said judgment must begin at the house of Yahweh. You know what I mean? Judgment must begin at the house of Yahweh. So we see these things, you know what I mean? These prophecy coming to pass. You know what I mean? These prophecy coming to pass. You know? This is 2nd Ezra. Yeah, so that's the 2nd Ezra chapter 15 verse 1. Yeah, 2nd Ezra chapter 15 verse 1. He said, Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people, which is you Negroes, Latino, Native American Indian, the words of prophecy which I will put in thy mouth, said the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and truth. Written in the paper, in the book, they are faithful and truth. You know what I mean? This is the Most High judgment. You know? Yeah, God, the judgment of the Most High begin at his house. You know what I mean? This is First Peter 4 and 17. This is 1 Peter chapter 4 verse 17. Alright, he said 1 Peter chapter 4 verse 17. He said, For the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of the power, and if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of Yahweh? So like I said, on a spiritual, you know, on a level, we know that Israel dwell in all these nations. You know, and the Most High can judge Israel for us. You know what I mean? Israel can be judged for us. Because we are the Most High firstborn. You know what I mean? So Israel can be judged for us, you know? Yeah, Israel can be judged for this is Tobit Salaki. Tobit chapter 13. Tobit chapter 13 verse 5. He said, And he will scourge us for our iniquities, and will have mercy again, and will gather us out of all nations. Gather us out of all nations. So like I said, on a spiritual level, you know, these babies and these men and women we get put to death could be Israelites. Because the Most High said 2/3 of Israel are going to be cut off and die. They're going to be cut off on this side. Right? So he said, and he will scourge us for our iniquities, and have mercy again, and will gather us out of all nations, among whom he had scattered us. You know what I mean? So we got, you know what I mean, Jake's in our nation, you know. This is Zephaniah chapter 30 verse 8, and it shall come to pass that in all the land, God Israel scattered in all the land, right? Confusion of faces, you know. He said the Lord Yahweh, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die. 2 parts mean 2/3 of Israel going cut off and die. So we see in this prophecy here. That's why they say it is faithful and truth. You see in the prophecies, you know, 2/3 being cut off daily before our eyes. Daily 2/3 being cut off, you know, in all 4 corners of the earth. Because recently, we know the crisis going on in Venezuela. Recently in Brazil, when the police them strike. Mexico, with the gas price went up, that big looting in the streets. Peru mudslide, Colombia mudslide. You know, we seeing these things. You know, recent couple, I think a year and a half back. Haiti had if it was so long, Haiti had a earthquake. You know, a lot of people died. You know what I mean? All in these islands right now, especially in Trinidad right now, your bodies dropping like fly. You know, women may be missing in. You find them a couple days after dead. Men being gunned down in the street. You know, it's the Most High judging the house of Israel for us. You know what I mean? Judging the house of Israel for us. So this is judgment. We're in the time of judgment. So this is prophecy showing the 2/3 being cut off every day before our eyes. That's why you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans need to repent and turn back to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Because it's Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai judgment. You know what I mean? This Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai judgment. You know? This is Proverbs. This is Proverbs 29, verse 26. He said, many seek the ruler's favor. You know, a lot of people crying, a lot of people trying to, you know what I mean, seek favor from these heads, you know what I mean, to help, you know. So many seek the ruler's favor, but every man's judgment coming from the Lord Yahweh. So this is judgment, you know what I mean. This is judgment, you know. Yeah, back to Zechariah chapter 13 verse 8. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, said the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the 1/3 shall be left therein. You know, so 2/3 gonna die on this side. You know, so it's every day we see the prophecy coming to pass. 2/3 being cut off, and we still got the economy got a crash, right? We still got the race war. This way, these 2/3 gonna be cutting off. All these plagues will be cutting off these 2/3. We still gotta get the the RFID microchip to come, martial law, FEMA camp, World War III. You know what I mean? Yeah. So this prophecy coming to pass, you know, before our eyes. You know. And with that, I was edifying to the elect. I want to give our praises and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles, the elders who were a great millstone. And a blessed sanitation to the Akiums in the 4 corners of the earth who pushing the gospel and sincerity and truth. Shalom.